Hey guys, this is Coded Steel and welcome to your final tutorial in the beginning series of the C programming language. After this we will move on to the advanced series where codes will be substantially more difficult and more involved. So this video is going to focus on just teaching you guys pretty much nothing new, just how to use a function called the random function. So before we can use the random function, there's two things we gotta do. We gotta include a new library called standardlib.h so we can use the random function. So I'm gonna put a comment next to this so you guys can understand why we put this here. And SRAM. These are the two functions that it will allow us to use. There are more functions in here, but those are the only two we're concerned about. So what do we want to do? How do we use these two functions? It's good that, okay, yeah, that's what they look like, but how do you use them? Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to, first off, I'm just going to declare a variable, x, and I'm going to just set it equal to rand. Why did I do that? The rand function returns a number between 0 and whatever number, a number that's like 4 or 5 billion. It could return any number in between there or whatever. So, and then we're going to just display that with printf. So all we're getting from the random function is it's just going to return a number. So printf, and it's going to be modulated as that, k and x. Okay, so now I'm going to build this, guys, and I'm going to show you what it does. 41. So as you can see, that's a random number. It just spit out 41 for no reason. It just decided to. So now what I'm going to show you guys is we're going to run this again. 41. Okay, we're going to run it one more time. Wow, 41 again. Okay, so it gave us 41 3 times. Why did I do this? I'm trying to prove to you guys that there is no such thing as a random number generator. Even computers that they say it's random, it's never random. It's following some form of algorithm that somebody created that makes it seem to where it's almost random. So you could be doing a bunch of addition, subtraction, multiplication, modulus operations, and then you can get 2 out, and then maybe the next number will be 5,473 or something like that. They're two totally different numbers, but the algorithm allows those numbers to be spit out. So this isn't very useful, as you can see. It doesn't look very random. How do I make it more random? Well, I can go ahead and I can use the SRAM function. And inside of the SRAM function, I can put a number in here, and it'll insert this number into its algorithm somehow. I don't know how it does, and it gives us 61 now. The only problem with doing this is, again, look, it's 61 because I didn't change the number in there. It doesn't. Now if I change it, it'll be a new number. Now it's 48. Okay, so you guys can see this is not very useful because we don't really put any numbers in there at all. Or we can put a number in there, but it's not going to be random because we're kind of in a way choosing the number. How do we stop that? How do we make it to where the number is 100% random 100% of the time? Well, we retype the SRAM, and we need to seed it with something that's going to continuously change. So what we need to do is add a new library. The name of the library is called time.h. And if you guys didn't get it by now, or don't understand this by now, what are we going to do with time? We're going to put a time in here, which is going to take the time since the clock was started and since the clock inside of this program was started, and it's going to use that to seed the code. This is useful because this number is never the same. It will constantly change. There we go. 12,654. If I do it again, 12,677. It's never going to be the same number, ever. It will constantly change. So that is a random number generator. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to run through really quickly with a for loop, and we're just going to kind of do this stuff in a for loop so I can show you, you know, a good set of numbers, a good string of numbers, rather than just doing it one time. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to get rid of this, and we're just going to say I or x here, and we're going to put this up here, int x equals blah 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 blah, or int I equals 0, I less than 10, and then I plus plus. So now it'll loop through. It should print us 10 numbers. That's what we wanted to do. So let's see that in action. Oh, because we didn't declare x. Int x. There, it's declared. Alright. There we go. 10 random numbers. And as you guys can see, yes, they are actually pretty random, which is good. So they're not extremely closely related to each other. So you guys may be wondering, though, this is almost kind of useless, because with this, how am I going to make it to where, you know, how am I going to make it to where I don't have such high numbers? Maybe, what if I want to use 0 through 6 and make 0 through 6 random, or 1 through 5 random? What if I want to make numbers like that random? I don't want to have it, you know, this is almost useless. I'm getting random numbers out. Well, we can do something called normalization. Basically, what we can do there is we can just take x and set it equal to x modulated by, let's say, 6, and then we will add 1 to that. And what that's going to do is it's going to make it to where on a standard dice the number will go between 1 and 6. That's all I'm trying to do. Just normalize it. So we got 6, 3, 3, 5, 2, 4, 6, 6, 6, 6. Wow, 4 6s. 5 6s. So that would have been amazing if somebody would have rolled that or something with 10 dice. But if I go ahead and I build this again, it should be random. And it is. Gives us different numbers. Now it's using 1. So the whole point of this, guys, is just to try to show you how this random function can be used. It seems almost useless at first when it's spitting out 12,000 something. That's useless. But we can take that number and convert it into a smaller number. And that's what this line of code here will do. So as you guys can see, this is a very useful function. If we wanted to create some kind of random action in a game or something, which we might do in our next advanced series that we're going to move into, this would be actually a very handy function to use. So anyways, that's all I have for you guys for this video. Next video is going to be in the advanced series. So codes are going to be substantially more difficult. If you guys have not watched every video in my series and you've just scanned through and watched individual videos, I recommend you watching the whole series, unless you feel like you've been programming for a long time and you'd be able to follow anything I'm doing in the advanced series. Then you're good to go. But codes are going to be substantially longer. Some of them might take 2 or 3 videos possibly, because we're going to be creating games and interactive type things instead of just teaching you what the if loop does. I'm going to assume when you go to these new videos that you guys know what these functions do. I'm not going to explain them in my video unless I did not explain them in my beginner series. So anyways, that's all I have for you guys for this video. Please download the user functions if you plan on watching my advanced series from by Google Drive. I made it available to the public, so you guys should be able to get it. So we're also going to be using that file in future tutorials. So anyways, that's all I have. I will see you guys in the next tutorial. Please subscribe.